The first Madrid derby is upon us. Atletico Madrid at home. Vincente Calderón host Real Madrid. Will they be able to frustrate Real Madrid the way they've done in the past? Will Diego Simeone continue to be Real Madrid's kryptonite? We're going to talk about it right here on Let's Talk Tactics. So a couple of changes I think Real Madrid will make going into this game. I'll start with the visitors here at the Vincente Calderón. I think Gareth Bale has been basically tipped to come back. I know I don't imagine Rafa Benitez will want to rush at any point soon, but he has been training, coming back from his calf strain, so I imagine he'll come back in. But this is going to pose a little bit of a question, because Isco has been doing a good job in that hole, specifically in the last game against Malmo. But what you're seeing from Isco is a lot more freedom, because Gareth Bale's taking up that central role. So I do imagine this is how they will line up. Carvajal, Ramos, Varane, Marcelo, Kroos, Modric, Isco, Ronaldo, Benzema, Bale. Basically a full team, minus James Rodriguez, who's still out injured, and some other players to come back. But what is happening with Real Madrid, as you'll see against Malmo in this example, Benzema knows his role now. He's always known his role at Real Madrid. He's not always going to be the goal scorer. So with Ronaldo being marked so tightly, Real Madrid, especially against Malmo, did a great job of interchanging their movement. And Atletico Madrid, right now, are not the hottest. Atletico Madrid in their day had the banks of four, which was very hard to exploit. But Real Madrid now need to start changing it up, because we've seen them frustrated against Malaga with all their chances. If Gareth Bale comes back in, they might be expecting him to start in the middle. I personally would go with Gareth Bale out the wide. I'd have him tuck inside whenever Isco picks up the ball, because Isco's drifting a lot more to the left-hand side. Naturally goes over there. Against Malmo, he was seen a lot. Their one goal with Ronaldo was through the weak side marking. Benzema dropped deep. The ball came into his area. Ronaldo was actually starting in the middle, bent his run right around the wide area, and Isco picked up this ball in space. And obviously Malmo were left isolated in this example. They were caught in the counter-attack, and it was a swift ball in behind, and Ronaldo was there. A lot of interchanging in there, a lot of movement, a lot of basically finesse in their attack, which Real Madrid have done in the past before, but with Ronaldo expected to pick up the ball in wide areas, cut in and hit it with his right foot, they have to alternate. They have to change things up, and they've been doing very well. Defensively, I don't have much to say about Real Madrid. I think that, of course, they're susceptible to those counter-attacks. I think that Malmo are unlucky a couple of times coming down the wide areas, but Atletico Madrid, I have to talk about what I think they should do more so to change things up, because they're the team right now that seems to be weak. They're losing the game in the Champions League. I think that they are strong in La Liga. They're used to scraping out those results, but it's going to be a different kettle of fish playing this Real Madrid team, who, despite being frustrated against some teams, are still in form. So let's take a look at what I think Atletico Madrid will do in this game. My first bit of advice for Atletico Madrid is simple. 4-3-3, despite the fact that they've changed it up a little bit and they sometimes start with it, they sometimes don't. 4-4-2, it's been Diego Simeone's go-to for ever since he's been in charge for Atletico Madrid. And they've encompassed it so well, because it's not just a traditional 4-4-2, it's the most hard-working 4-4-2 I think anyone's ever seen. So he's been changing it up a little bit this season. He's been alternating Jackson Martinez, who hasn't exactly hit the pot of gold yet with his goal-scoring form. But Torres has got a tendency to score in the big games, especially against your likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona. I imagine they should go back to a 4-4-2. I don't think they will, but this is what I imagine. Juanfran, Jimenez, Godin, Filipe Luis at the back, Thiago and Gabi. The reason why I want them two in centre midfielder, because they work well in terms of getting forward and defending. Gabi naturally will drift forward more so than Thiago and get on the score sheet, as we've seen him before against Sevilla. But what I want to be done is exactly how they scored against Benfica. Their first goal came from, I would say, a movement that more teams are doing. Man City are doing it a lot more when they're working it with the Yaya Toure. We've seen Tottenham, I know I'm going to mention this in a La Liga video, but it's still funny. Tottenham have been doing it with Dyer, hence his goal in games against Man City, like I talked about. They'll push forward that expected holding midfielder to make that late run. Now, Thiago against Benfica made this late run in behind, and he wasn't exactly influential in the goal, but what he did do was take a defender. He took two defenders wide, and he created this gap in the middle from which one of the attacking players from Atletico Madrid drifted in behind and was able to tap in a well-worked move, because it's that gap, it's that late run. It's the movement off the ball that creates the gaps. And against Real Madrid, they won't be expecting that from someone like Thiago or Gabi, because they're naturally holding midfielders. So I think they should do that. But more so anything else, they have to start finding room for Griezmann in here. I think with this 4-3-3, it's getting a little crowded in there. Griezmann isn't getting as much of the ball as he should. Fernando Torres is better, I think, at holding the line than Jackson Martinez. Jackson Martinez likes to drop deep, likes to make those dynamic runs in behind. Torres has just been trained to be that play on the last man striker, and he'll make those runs and try and split Real Madrid's defence, and they'll be naturally worried about Torres, because he has got a tendency to score in these games. But with Niguez and I think Oliver Torres, they're quick players. Get them the ball wide, and from what I imagine is just it sounds so simple, but Griezmann needs to be on the ball more. He needs to be on the ball in that hole. They don't have to have a 4-3-3 because when you play Griezmann, naturally he'll drift into this area and he'll work well with the striker that's with him. I don't think that he's been playing as well in his 4-3-3, specifically against Benfica, where they were caught out far too many times in the counter-attack. Benfica just basically emphasised a tactical formation that I love to reiterate in all my videos, was leak side attacking. So what they did against Atletico Madrid is they naturally drifted the ball on one side. It happened twice on Atletico Madrid's right-hand side, where they would pull the possession down, and overlapping fullback would take the run in behind. Naturally, the centre-backs are drawn across, weak side marking. Quick, direct ball in behind. They scored 2 goals from this, and I think Atletico Madrid, especially against a team with such attacking depth and width as Real Madrid, really need to watch out for that. So my predictions in this game, I'm going to go with a boring 1-0, and I'm going to go with it to Real Madrid. I think that they've just got enough to tip them past Atletico Madrid. This is an Atletico Madrid that's been consistent every single game, despite their good form in La Liga. I just don't think they've got enough to beat Real Madrid at the moment. I think with Gareth Bale coming back and basically Ronaldo still hot in form, clicking, I still think that Real Madrid have just got that little bit too much for them. But I want to know what you guys think. If you disagree, that's perfectly fine. Let me know in the comment section below. Follow me on Twitter @Francis_Maxwell.